What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Lord, the Sonic Confuser, and I watched Mrs. Doubtfire with the tagline: she makes dinner, she does windows, she reads bedtime stories, she's a blessing in disguise. And I'm so glad that I finally watched this movie because, I can say you honestly upfront, I fucking loved it. I fucking love this movie. This is maybe one of my favorite Robin Williams movies that I've ever watched. And I haven't watched a lot of his movies. Where he plays it. So, but this is definitely one of my favorites, and it's maybe one of my favorites, just overall. This is why I fucking love doing this. You can find some of your favorite movies. Sometimes, sometimes you have shitty movies, and sometimes you have movies that are absolutely out of this fucking world, and this was one of those. This movie was it. I fucking loved it. And I was also kind of wrong. Because at first I thought, okay, maybe I knew that he was, a man dressed up as a woman. But I thought maybe he is in a sorority, he is the dorm mother, something like that. Why, I don't know, but I thought something like that, but it was apparently, for his own family, which, makes more sense in my, it makes more sense. So. But, like I said, I'm so glad that I watched this movie, so I just start with this fucking movie. It's too dark. We're in a cartoon and we see a house. The cartoon camera goes up and we see a bird in a cage. It's singing the Figaro song, Figaro, 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 that song, Almost everybody knows it, maybe from the Looney Tunes that they used it. And this was also kind of remind me of the Looney Tunes. Maybe this was part of the Looney Tunes, who knows, I don't know. Sorry, I'm a bit, nasally maybe, because, I cried at the end, so. He was seeing the figure, and we see then, the camera, the real camera zooms out, and we see, it's on a screen, and it goes further, and we see the guy that's doing it. He's called Daniel and he's played by Robin Williams. We see his back and we see him, move his arms, and doing the whole figure thing and the whole lines and all. We see him doing the voice acting live while that's playing on the screen. Well, with no audience, it's just probably the recording. You see, there's a table next to him, and there's a guy at the table, and further to the right, at the wall, there's a window, and there are three probably sound guys sitting there, all three smoking, while the guy next to him is also smoking. Important for a bit later. So he's doing the lines. Sorry for the noise outside, they're working legit right outside of my window, not at my wall, but across the street. So, sorry. I can't do anything about that shit. So anyway, back to the movie. So the lines, and then in the cartoon, they took out a cigarette and put it in, the bird's mouth. But he does the voice of both characters, so the one character that's maybe a cat or something, and this is not Sylvester and Tweety Bird. So he put a cigarette, puts it in the mouth, and lights it, and then from that moment he goes off script. He starts to say things like, oh, the cats are, all kind of shit like that, and the guy next to him calls, "Cut!" And asks from Daniel, "What are you doing?" I'm gonna leave it at that, because if you don't know what's gonna happen next, watch the movie yourself. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the movie, this movie was just it. This movie was it, you know. I legit wish it was longer, you know. I wish that this movie was longer, because I fucking loved it, you know. Really too bad. It was a 2 hour, 5 minute movie, but I kind of wish that it was longer, you know. If it was a 3 hour movie, I would have loved it, you know. I still would have loved it. Yeah, it was basic. I can tell kind of the premise why he was dressed as a woman. It was because, you know, um, he and his wife, you know, got divorced. Um, yeah, shit like that happens. And when she, you know, there was a scene where she picked up the kids, you know, she was kinda cold, you know. I thought, oh geez, she's cold, you know. Why? You know. And also, you know, she was bashing him, you know, to Mrs. Doubtfire about, or somebody else, you know, about his room, and, you know, about a job, that he had to get the job, and, you know, he, you know, his room looked like shit, or why can't he get a nice apartment? Well, maybe because just hours before you know, said I want a divorce, he quit his job for voice actor, you know, that he did for, you know, because that happened a bit after I stopped writing, you know, he quit. So, you know, he's looking for a new job, and, you know, why can't he get a nice apartment? Because you are just fucking divorced, you know, he can't afford that nice, fancy shit, you know. I don't get it, why she immediately started bashing him about that kind of shit, you know. But I have to say, it looked kind of shit, but I can't talk about that, you know, because my room also looks like shit. Anyway. He, before he got the job as Mrs. Doubtfire, he kind of sabotaged the job offer, because he changed the number on, you know, on the thing that was going into the paper. So in every phone call that she got after that, that was all him, you know, in different kind of voices. And then, you know, the perfect woman called at the end, and it was Mrs. Doubtfire, and she obviously got the job. Yeah, that's basically it. What I stopped writing. I just fucking loved it. And, you know, the youngest girl, you know, the youngest girl, no, the youngest kid, you know, of, from the three of them, because, you know, they both had, together had 3 kids, you know, and the youngest kid, I kind of recognized her, so I looked her up, and I knew it. That's Matilda. That's Matilda before, it's Matilda before she was Matilda. Matilda. It's 3 years before she played in the movie Matilda. So I recognize her, but that's nice to see her. Yeah. Also interesting, you know, that she played, that she's a child actor from, you know, very young. You know, I don't know how old she is in the movie, but she was very young. Um, yeah, this movie was just a 5 out of 5. I can't give it lower than a 5 out of 5. I fucking loved the movie. It may be even a high 5 because, yeah, like I said, I want the movie to be longer. Because I fucking loved it. Also, we had Pierce Brosnan in this movie. I've seen in also some other movies. He also plays James Bond, which we're gonna watch next year. The franchise of James Bond. Also, before I forget, thank you for subscribing. Number 67. Yeah, 67 subscribers. Holy fucking shit. We're getting closer to the 100 subscribers. We're getting closer. I can't wait. Well, yeah, it's nice if we get 100 subscribers, before the end of the year. But I know for sure that we're not gonna get that. So, maybe before the end of next year or the year after that would be nice. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that. Leave likes, recommend your favorite Robin Williams movie down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, come join the Discord, and I'll see you guys later for the, what was the movie called? Call Time, the final, featuring Tyra Magnus. Also, you get the Twilight Zone episode, which was it? 18? Yes, episode 18. And otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another movie. Because I have no clue.